Hello. Hello, hello. Hi, Safuri. You got your sniffer sticker. Nice. There's gonna be an ad break soon, if not now. And then we'll get into it. Hello, hello. Alright. I think the ad break is Denaroni, so let's go ahead and start our session, shall we? Start class. So let's go ahead and go over to the main room. 3, 2, 1, woo! Alright. Hello everyone, hello. I'm Babinka Bear, artist, historian, art historian, and Sun Bear PNGTuber. And it's lesson time. It's class time again. Once again, and this time I switched up the name of our educational series, because it used to be known as what was it? You can be an art historian. Yes, you in the audience in chat, you can be an art historian. So that was the name before, but as you can see with this slideshow over here, let's see if is my highlighter working. Nice. I've changed it to BINKA Teaches Art Appreciation. Mostly because I realized that with this series, I wasn't really teaching a lot of actual art history. I guess like I was kind of like I was going into different like cultures, right? But the aim of this is not for you guys to be able to proclaim like, yes, I am the equivalent of someone who got their degree in art history. Though you can if this interests you and you're still I don't know, if you're still in college or am going to college or want to go back to college and you want to major in art history, you do that. That'd be amazing. I love my undergrad experience. It was kind of easy actually, but well, I say easy, but if I were to time travel back to then, it's the nostalgia thing, right? Of like, oh, things were so much easier when all I had to do was go to class and just like zone out. But if I were to actually time travel, I think I would remember how stressed I was. She promised me this is a legally binding degree. See, if you look at my certificate, it's signed by BINKA herself. What do you mean I can't work at this museum? Kudo, hello, thank you for the raid, and happy birthday, and happy affiliate. Hello, let me give you a shout out. Shout out, Kudo Daya. Sluggy raid. Hello, I was lurking. I know that you were opening some MTG cards. Very cool. Thanks for the raid. Hello, everyone. Hello. We just got started, so you didn't miss out on too much. I was just talking about how me saying that you can be an art historian isn't legally binding. And that's why I changed the title of this educational series. So yeah, let's say hello. So first of all, happy birthday, Kurodaya. Happy affiliate, congratulations, congrapplications, you know? And thanks again for the raid. If you got a raid and run, no worries, I totally understand. Same with any one of the folks that came along with you, but thanks again. And if you want to stick around, I'd love for that to be the case as well. So, hello Kurodaya, hello Owen, hello Cielo, hello Miss Merc. Hello. You're legally an art historian, yes, by being in chat as I teach this series, you can legally call yourself an art historian, and no one will be the wiser. If you go to a museum and you say, hire me, because I paid attention to BINKA's stream that one time, then they can't say no, you know, it's legally binding. Don't do it, please. Thank you. We had some scuff, but got the stream back, so I just finished up. I'm waiting for the cake to de-thaw. Nice. You got the ice cream cake? That sounds really yummy. Happy to hang? Nice. Yeah, I saw on the little guy's Discord that there was some trouble with the Twitch, right? Twitch just be like that sometimes, but I'm glad you're able to get it back up. I looked for a teensy bit. I think I was there when you mentioned there was like a bear card that was like a little bit of me and a little bit of who else? There was someone else that you mentioned. Oh, Shinsu. It was like half me, half Shinsu. And like, it's because like I was right about to get some food, so I like heard that right as I was taking off my headphones, and then I saw like the picture, and it was like this really cool bear guy, and I was like, heck yeah. I love it. So yeah. Twitch and OBS tokens being funky. Yeah, as is tradition when it comes to Twitch. It's kind of funky in that way. Oh, I didn't put on any music. I kept on making Kingdom Hearts references because today's lesson is about light and shadow, and you know the whole like, the closer you are to— wait, what was it? The closer you are to the light, the greater your shadow becomes, and all of the edginess that comes with that. So I was like, what's good, you know, thematic music? I decided on Hikaru Utada. Or Utada Hikaru as I, you know, the order that I know. Shinsu and BINKA card? Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, that's today's lesson. I was just going over how I changed the title. It used to be You Can Be an Art Historian, which I do believe. If you so please, if you so wish, you too in the audience can be an art historian. But I realize that I am not as much teaching art history as I am teaching art appreciation, like how to look at art. Like, let's say you don't know anything about, like, let's use this as like a sample, right? Like, you don't know anything about what the heck was going on in Italy in the 1600s, but you want to look at this painting over here. You can. I'm hoping that with this series, you can just like look at it, and even without any historical context, you could be like, oh, I really love the shading, the rendering. So yeah, that's the hope. Is the music volume okay, by the way? Is my voice volume okay? I feel like I'm a little loud, but you guys let me know if I'm peaking, if I'm hurting the ears, you know, the ear bones. You let me know. But also, let me lower this a teensy bit. And actually, since I talked about where's Simple and Clean, let's play Simple and Clean. I feel like that's a good starter for Utada Hikaru playlist. Because Simple and Clean is the way that you're making me feel tonight. There you go. Re-recording? Ah. One brings shadow, one brings light. Sounds good. Oh, nice. Your voice is good, the music is quiet but not distracting. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Awesome, awesome. I gotta admit, I don't remember all of the Kingdom Hearts light and darkness codes. I just remember the one at the very beginning that's like, just remember, like, it's after you pick your sword or your shield or your wand, and you have to face up against the boss, the big, like, heartless boss, and it's like, remember, the closer you are to the light, the larger your shadow becomes. And then Sora's shadow becomes, like, the big heartless boss that you have to fight. I wouldn't say it's really spoilers, because it's literally one of the first things that happens in the game. But if any of you in chat today are like, oh man, I wanted to play Kingdom Hearts and she just spoiled it, still play it, you know? Still play. That's just like, I want to say the first 5 minutes of the game. I might have nostalgia glasses on. It's been a minute since I last played it, but I remember it being a fun time. You don't hear me say. It's hard to let it go. And like who was playing it? Charlie. I think Charlie was playing it like a couple of weeks ago. And like there's so much about it that just like scratches the itch, you know? From the music to like even the sound effects when you like defeat all of the heartless and you're picking up the little green balls for your health, you know? Hello, heavily salted fish. Hello, C-May. I want everyone's getting their stickers. Get your stickers. Get your stickers, everybody. You got the Tahoe sticker? Tahoe. Oh, baby, don't go. Exactly, Owen. Get your stickers. Hold on. I got a private message that I do want to look at. Oh, yes. So, not to say the usual, you know, streamer thing, but big things coming. Bear things coming. There are things that are arriving shortly. The bears will be in eventually, you know? Bear things coming. Oh man. Okay, cool. I was just looking at a DM for something. So yeah. We need to karaoke someday. I was supposed to do karaoke. I forgot. So, you know, Beans' family, they were in Europe these past 2 weeks or so. So me and Beans actually had the place to ourselves, and I really could have done a karaoke, but I forgot. Like I should have forgot, and then I didn't remember until it was like the night before they came back. And I was like, oh no, it's too late for me to change the schedule. I didn't prepare, I didn't practice anything. But you know, I think other opportunities will come. I do love karaoke. I love singing so much. I'm not great at it, but I love doing it. But yeah. Hello, Cielo. Oh hee hee. Oh hee hee ha ha. But yeah. So today's class is about Light and Shadow, not Kingdom Hearts, unfortunately. But you know, maybe one of these days we'll play Kingdom Hearts. One of these days, since you know it's a nostalgia thing, right? It's a nostalgia thing, and I think I said this on Charlie's stream. I don't think I ever finished. Did I finish Chain of Memories? I never finished Chain of Memories or Kingdom Hearts 2 for very similar reasons, and I think it was something like. I might have like I think for 2 I think I like accidentally softlocked myself somehow. I just remember being on that boss with the cards. One of the like Organization 13 people with like the like Luxor Lux person. Like, I forgot, but it's the person with the cards who has like a whole gambling thing I guess going on, or gambling like shtick. Hello, Matthew. Hello. No worries. We're still chatting. We're still yapping before class starts. I was talking about Kingdom Hearts. I played Kingdom Hearts 1 to completion twice. Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. If any of you are like unfamiliar with like the Kingdom Hearts series, so there's 1 and then there's Chain of Memories, which originally came out on the Game Boy Advanced. Why did I say Advance? Game Boy Advance. There's no D at the end. And I liked it because it's a kind of a spin-off of like Kingdom Hearts, but like it is a continuation story-wise. But the system is like card-based, kind of. Hello, Vitehide. Hello, hello. Got your Lechflan sticker. Oh, let me pause for a second. Okay, sorry, I'm back. We got burger. Okay, what was I saying? So, you guys are getting your stickers. Lurking because of new 14 raid, but wanted to say hi. Yeah, thanks for dropping by. Good luck with the raid. Are you in queue? Are the queue times kind of insane? And Matthew got your sticker. We back. Yeah, so, yeah, so Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories is a direct continuation story-wise, but, like, system-wise, play-wise... Oh, Gino. Gino knocked over some stuff. He like leaped on the table and like knocked stuff over. Sorry if you guys heard that. It's based off like it's a card system, and it's a lot more doable on the Game Boy Advance because it's only 2 dimensions. You only have to worry about going up and down, so it's very doable, right? Because you also have a limited number of cards. If you like let a battle play on too long, you eventually like kind of run out of cards, and like it's very hard to like continue on with the battle. The reason why I mentioned that is because there was like a remaster, I think, for the game where they made it 3D. And like arguably, in my humble opinion, in my humble bare opinion, it kind of sucked. Because like now it was kind of harder to reach your opponent now that it was 3D, you know, 3 dimensions, as we learned about in our last lesson on Farm, right? See, that's the segue. That's the segue. but back when it was 2D, it was just so much easier to get your opponent and use your cards efficiently. Here in the 3D version, it's so much harder. Because now you gotta think about that 3rd dimension. And then you ran out of cards way too easily, and it kind of sucked. But it was still a direct story continuation of the game, so... Of the first one, so you, like, kind of had to play it. You technically could skip it, but then you would go into Kingdom Hearts 2, like... Who the heck are all these characters? Who is this, like, blonde person that everyone seems to know, but I don't know. So, there's that. Kingdom Hearts 2, I think I almost completed back when I was a kid, back when it first came out, but I never finished it because, yeah, like I said, I think I don't know if I soft locked myself or like, I think I got defeated by the card guy whose name starts with like an LUX, but I don't remember the rest of it. And then oh, Gino, it's just so much chaos in the background. Yeah, I don't remember what happened. I think he either defeated me and I had to go back to like, I don't know, an earlier save state. I just remember being like, you know what? I don't want to do this. Like, I don't want to play this anymore. Bro, you putting cassette tapes in your hi-fi? Yeah, I don't know if you're hearing, are you guys hearing like all the stuff that's like falling behind me? It's our kitty cat. It's Gino. He's like hopping up on the table, knocking stuff over. Oh no, I apologize. He's such a rascal, that one. If Gino isn't the one that's on my table right now, that's Schnackery. Wait, do I have a... I do have like a pet. I have like a pet asset of Stinky Gino. Let me pop it up, and then we'll go ahead and get started with the lesson. Where is it? Stinky Jinky. He's just a stinky guy. Where is it? Here we go. If you guys want to see what Gino looks like. There you go. Little disembodied like Gino head in the corner. Oh my god! Thank you for the enlarged sticker. God, that that cat looks so much like Schnackery. It's funny. Okay, let's put. Where should we put Gino? Up here? There we go. Hopefully that's not too distracting. But okay, let's go ahead and get started then. So, do I have a Gino emote? Maybe he's so as opposed to Schnackery, because Schnackery's a black cat, and you know, like black cats are like everywhere. You know, like in terms of like designs, like if you just Google black cat, it's like, oh, that looks exactly like Schnackery. Whereas like Gino, I don't know, his not design, that makes it sound like I created him or something. When in reality he just sprouted out of the ether, the kitty cat ether. He's fluffy. He looks like the pet thing that's going up in the corner. But he's very fluffy. But he also has like those little stripe things going on. Let's see. Kind of. Let's see. I think the closest is the one that Kurodaya just put in. I feel like that's the closest. Cause the yellow glaring one, okay, that's what Gino looks like emotion wise. But like visually, it's like the one that Kuro just put in there. He emerged fully formed from the head of the cat mother, like Athena from Zeus. Yeah, from Metis. Or I don't know if you're supposed to say like Metis or Metis, because me as a filthy bear American, our T's just sound like that, right? Metis. Okay, so let's get started. We're gonna talk about like shadows and light and stuff. I kind of just picked this picture because I was looking up some terminology that we will go over in a little bit. I also thought it was pretty cool looking. So I guess fair warning, I did make this presentation this morning. It's a little all over the place. I usually try to like tether the lesson to like at least one, and it does have a theme. The theme is like light and shadow, right? But I usually try to tether it to something like, you know, line was tethered to like manga, and I think form was tethered to like the 3D models that we looked at. This time I was hoping to do like photography, but I kind of went all over the place. So hopefully this lesson won't be like super duper confusing, but I'll try my best. But if you guys have questions, don't hesitate to ask, you know. What are these emotes? Oh, kitty cat, he's twerking. So that's why you were talking about Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, exactly. They just have so many quotes of like, Kingdom Hearts is light. So yeah, and that's why we're listening to Utada Hikaru. So you guys let me know if you have any questions, but otherwise let's go ahead and start the lesson. We're gonna talk about value, light, and shadow. I got gifted a sub to Flash. Ooh, nice. Nice. One brings shadow, one brings light. Okay, so let's review. So far we've gone over shape. No. Let's start from the beginning. Lines, shapes, and forms. That's what we've gone over so far, right? This is from last time. So, you know, certain shapes and certain lines, they kind of communicate certain ideas. Not because anyone decided that, but because it's based off things we see in nature. So, you know, square shapes, straight lines, there's stability. Round shapes and curvy lines, comfort and cuteness. Sharp angles, zigzags. That's like dynamic but dangerous. But, you know, just like everything else I'm going to say in this presentation, all of the rules can be broken in very interesting ways. So, yeah. Well, just keep that in mind the entire way through, because I'm going to say something like, oh, if you see this and this, usually it means this and that. But just know that that's not always the rule. Two-toned echoes tumbling through time. I don't know the whole, like, the whole quote. So, feel free to quote each other. And this is from the last lesson. We looked at form. We looked at 3D stuff, right? So, forms are 3D shapes, and the way their form can depend on material and culture. So we looked at these two statues, right? We looked at an Egyptian one, which like, here's an oversimplified example. Not all Egyptian art is like this, and not all Greek art is like this, but this is just like trends that we see. So like Egyptian art, the poses are very strong and stable, and like these two are carved out of one block of stone, right? Well, actually so is this guy, but the poses, they're supposed to be kind of strong and stable, but they're also kind of stiff. If you look at it, like you know, there's not a lot of what do you say, like if you compare these two, there's a lot more curves going on just with like the arms. You could tell that like the weight is rested on one foot and this one is kind of curved. Here everything is kind of like straight, square shaped, right? So it's meant to stand the test of time, but it's also, you know, for some people that might be kind of stiff and kind of boring, as opposed to like Greek art, Greek, Roman, and Renaissance art, where it's a little bit more expressive. This looks a little bit more like a little bit more natural. So and this is what's called contrapposto, this whole idea of like resting your weight on one foot, because it gives this illusion of like just being more natural, right? So it's more natural, it's more dynamic, but it's also more prone to breakage. And this isn't the best example because everything is intact here, but if you think of like Venus de Milo, it's that one statue where she's like missing both her arms, right? And it's because like, who knows, maybe the statue fell over and the arms just chipped off, right? Or, you know, people might have like accidentally hit it with like another stone, or intentionally, you never know, because that's another topic we could go into, is that like what's it called? Iconoclasm. Iconoclasty, I think is the word. Basically, it's just the act of intentionally destroying art. Sometimes for like political or like religious or social reasons. But that's not the focus for today. But, you know, if we want to come back to that, we can. We can. Oh, it's a song for... I'm a fake fan! I'm a fake fan! Oh, I didn't expect my voice to go that high. The Christians love breaking fingers off of Greek statues. Exactly. Iconoclasty getting kinda nasty on idols. Oh my god, I'm gonna pin that. That's incredible. Good one, Matthew. So yeah, this is what we went over last time. We also have like 3D models here if you guys ever want to look at those again. We also looked at things like mochi ceramics, alebrijes, made of paper mache and gunpla. And those lend themselves to different shapes because of the material, right? So like, if it's something made out of paper, you can easily twist peanuts yoinked, oh no! The peanuts, I'm an ideas guy. Certainly. So like you can like pinch paper mache into like, you know, spires or like sharper shapes, whereas with like ceramics it's made out of clay, right? So it has to be like you can't be having those like little spires, those sharp angles. And then gunpla, you know, you also have like your square shapes because it's easier to produce with plastic, but you can also make different kinds of shapes with like plastic and stuff like that. But anyway, that's just the review. This is just what we did last time, right? So this time, let me take a sip of my Wawa, because I realize I'm already front loading a lot of stuff. Oh, that's good Wawa. So this time, today's lesson is all about value. And not monetary value. This is talking about shadow and light. And hello, Mayshark. Hello. You're just in time. We just got to the main idea for today. So we're talking about shadows and light. And then sometimes this is called rendering. Especially if it's like adding shadows or highlights to an object. And here I used, I got kind of lazy. I kind of copied and pasted this from, if you guys are unfamiliar, a couple of us worked on a project for Randon a while back for his birthday, and it was the Sigma art grind set to kind of teach him about art. This is sampled from one of the pages in the book, the page about value. So, a very valuable orb. Yeah, it's Orby. It's Orby. I just thought Orby is like a perfect example of like how to show light, highlight. I didn't do a great job here on the cast shadow, but we'll get into that. Sigma Orby, a tungsten orb. So yeah. This is the circle, the orb, the sphere is usually what's used when it comes to teaching like how to apply shadows and highlights. Like this is very typical because it's just an easy way to show like what happens when light falls on an object, right? So, yeah. So here's some vocab if you guys are interested. You don't have to memorize it. This isn't going to be on the test because there is no test, but it's just something to know about. Either if you're an aspiring artist or an aspiring art analysicist, an art appreciator, art historian, you know? So it helps you sound smarter when you observe the art. You can be like, ah, yes, I think the core shadow is very cromulent and the cast shadow is perfectly cromulent. So value. But this is kind of like the basics of what this means. So let's say that you have a light source over here, and let's say that it's more towards the front. An art lookist stonks. So if let's say that this is the light source, right? It's a little bit to the front too, otherwise the shadows would be a little different. So right where the light hits the object, that's gonna be your brightest part of the object, as it says here. That's gonna be your highlight. And usually this is the closest to the light source. It's the brightest. Sometimes people use like just white for the highlight, but there's a lot of tips that will say like, oh, don't do that, because like sometimes it's a little too stark. Jots down cromulent. Use big words, sound artistry for extra value. It's true. It's true. The only thing, I feel like my specific brand of like, I was gonna say like ADHD, even though I'm not like diagnosed. My specific brand of ADHD is like, I know a lot of fancy words and stuff, but my brain cannot recall them properly. So like sometimes like I'll recall a super fancy word when like a simpler word would have done 10 times better. So like, by the way, cromulent is a fake word, but it's but I think, yeah, it's from The Simpsons, but it's also a fun word to use. So put it in your lexicon. Big words, indubitably. I know a lot of fancy words because I'm an English major trying to wring as much value out of my useless degree. No, it's a good degree. It's a good degree. I love it. Like creative writing, I want to be able to do that. Did you guys know that it's ship week? If any of you follow some certain 18 plus Tempest accounts, did you know that it's ship week? I love indefatigable. Fatigable. Avoid education, I'm gonna die. Hello, Julian. Hello. Welcome. You got your sticker. Yeah, it's ship week. It's like, there's a whole bunch of prompts too, and I was like, oh, I should draw something, but I have like no energy to draw, and I was like, maybe I should write something, but I'm like, I haven't written fan fiction in years. I don't remember how to do any of that. Ship week, which ship do we sail? The ship that what is it, sailing the same boat, boys, that kind of ship week. So hello HDTQW5, hello, our 3-time champ of the mosh pit, boys. Yeah. Oh yeah, so going back to here, we have our highlight. My last fanfic was 2 years ago. What? When was my last fanfic? I was still in college, or I was still doing my master's, I want to say. So like, oh my god, 2018, I want to say. Dang. But okay. So we have our light source. This is the lightest part, and then you also have your midtones, which is basically, one way to kind of interpret it is like the actual color of the object. It's like your default color. Here I put like the middle range. But it's also the part of the object that is like lit. It's not the most lit. It's not litty. It's not litty titty, but it's pretty lit, you know? So that's the midtones. So everything that is not being touched by the light. Remember, Simba, everything that touches the light is ours. But everything that's kind of in shadow, that's also called your core shadow. Usually, as it says here, this is the darkest part of the object, but not necessarily of your piece, because I'm also going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about cast shadow. I've never written a fanfic. You can start now. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. The thing is, like, it depends on you, because like I feel like I'm I have a lot to learn when it comes to making fan art, especially of the ship variety. Like, of that variety. So sometimes I'm like, oh, I feel like maybe I'd be a better writer, but I'm so used to like academic writing that I'm like, I don't know how to write emotions or smexy times, you know? So yeah, it's kind of tough no matter what, but you know, you could start today, could be day one, you know? Hello, Mookie Sticks. Hello, hello. I love the fishies. He's eating, he's chomping. I buy a book that helps with perspective, but I guess I got no energy. That's me all the time. I actually have books on like figure drawing. I just don't have the energy to go through them. Academically write a fan fiction? You mean with like references? With like a works cited page at the end? Where it's like, ah yes, when I was writing this fellatio scene, I was referencing this WebMD article about let's see, people saying hi to each other. Getting an English degree actually burnt me out. I never write anymore. That's me with reading. That's what happened with my history degree. I can't read anymore. Or I can't read long like novels anymore. I have to like read like picture books or like young adult novels or even audiobooks. But I feel that, Matthew. I feel that. Sorry, the what scene? Which scene was it? Could you repeat so I could take notes? The Falutian, the Felician, the Felicia from Darkstalkers, the Fellatio, the Felipe. But yeah. Oh man, we keep getting sidetracked, but this is relevant to midtones, right? The what? It's okay, you can play back the recording and the Felicia from Darkstalkers. Imagine a nerd fanfiction where it gets heated as to which referencing format is better. I'm a Chicago gal. I've never been to Chicago, but in terms of like citations, I like Chicago. MLA is a close second, but I've never done what is it? APA? API? APA? Never done it before, so unfortunately that's the weakest for me. Okay, so we have, what do we do? Highlight midtones core shadow. This is the part that kind of changed my life when it came to art. Is there's something called reflected light, and that's you can kind of observe this in real life. If you are seeing an object like this that's being well lit by either the sun or like artificial light, oftentimes the surface that it's on is gonna reflect light back on it. So for example, let's say that Orby is resting on like a red surface. It would actually be a little bit red here. Or even red tinged with like whatever the color here is. So if he's green and this like ground is red, then it would be like a mix of those two colors here, and that would be the reflected light. And it would actually separate the core shadow, which is the darkest part of the object, from this. This is the cast shadow, which is the shadow that the object our object casts. Let me say that again. Or let me just read this. The shadow cast by the object on the surface it's resting on. So this is the light source, this is Orby. He's casting a shadow, and this is that shadow. Alright? So if you don't include that reflected light, it kind of blends in together a little too much. So that reflected light does help in some circumstances. Sometimes there isn't a reflected light on an object. It depends on the material, right? But you know, I usually try to include it. Let's see. APA. Oh yeah, I've never done APA. I've only ever done MLA, the little blue book. Yeah, there's citation like generators now, which I wish that was a thing back when I was in college because I had to learn it manually. So if the reflective light touches the bum, it's still yours. I've done APA, I think, for work. Do you have a tier list? Do you guys have a citation tier list? For me, I like Chicago because of the numbers, because of the footnotes. Because it's not too intrusive, right? It's just like, oh, cool, I could just go down to the footnotes and, like, read this. Whereas, like, or maybe I've been doing it wrong my entire life. I don't know, I just like Chicago. And then MLA that's just kind of the default. Like, MLA is the default of what they teach you, I think, isn't it? Or that's what I learned in English class in college. They taught me MLA until my eye sockets were bleeding. Not really, but you know what I mean. Like, they whack you over the head with it, and then they beat you up, and then they steal your wallet. That's what MLA did to me. And then I just never learned APA. I think I'm just doing APA for having done the editing for work for so long. Ah, I see. I learned MLA in English class. Yeah. Okay, cool. Did you guys also get mugged by MLA? Is this a problem that we need to discuss? Why isn't anyone talking about this? I'm just kidding. It was just a lot. It was just a lot. But yeah, that's kind of the basics of, like, shading. It does get a lot... MLA stole my lunch money! I don't have my emotes toggled on. MLA stole my lunch money, and they beat me up, and they called me a nerd, and then they said I was short, and then they said that I'm dorky and cringe. And that's why I know you put the period after the parentheses. No! So, shading does get very complicated later on once you, like, for example, go into anatomy. Once you go into anatomy, then it's like, oh no, where does the light fall? But it all kind of sort of, like, follows the same formula. But it's so simple on an orb. It's not as simple on, like, a human chest. Well, I guess there are orbs on some human chests, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Okay, so... let's look at different types of shading, shall we? Different types of rendering, of, like, making 2D into 3D. I got some classical art for this. This is some of my favorites. And then we also have some vocab. Don't worry, you don't have to memorize it. I just think they're pretty fancy, and you can have some fun trying to pronounce them. Because I'm not fluent in Italian, so I'm gonna butcher this. But it's fun because, like, how often do you see a word with S and F right next to each other? Right? Sfumato. somewhere in either the East Coast or Italy, an Italian just they hiccuped because of my pronunciation. Caravaggio, my beloved. Yeah. Both Cielo and Kuro. Fuck. That was all right. Okay. Personally, I draw until it works. That's kind of what I do too. Even though, like, you should, like, I know the thing to do is you have to do studies, right? You have to, like, look at your references. You got to do studies. But sometimes I just want to do the brain dead thing. I just want to try stuff until it works. But sometimes it is just easier to, like, look at references and be like, ah, that's how they did it. That's how they did it. Okay, so here's a couple of examples of rendering. So we have here, Let's try this together, class. Chiaroscuro. I don't think it's chiaroscuro. I think it's Chia, right? Chiaroscuro. And from my readings, this means light and dark. Pizza pasta. Somebody ate. What was it? Somebody touching my spaghetti. I took 6 years of Italian. I forgot most of it. That's me with Spanish. Like, I took 2 years of Spanish, and I live in a predominantly Hispanic neighborhood, but I still don't know too much. Tengo, opposite of frío. Yo soy bebinka. Soy, maestra. Calor. Thank you. Tengo calor. I'm dying. I'm muerte. Okay. Chiaroscuro and tenebrism. I actually don't remember if I learned about tenebrism when I was in college, but basically, these are very similar. They are different in some way, but they kind of fall into the same category of, like, dramatic lighting. So Caravaggio is usually the artist to go to when you want to talk about dramatic lighting. Basically, this means, like, the shadows and the light, they're very contrasted against each other. Like, look at this. Usually with, for example, tenebrism is kind of the more intense version of chiaroscuro, where it's like, you actually start off with, like, almost like you want to imagine that this person might have started off with, like, straight up a black canvas, and then they drew in the features. I don't know if that's actually how they did it, but that's what it feels like, because for the most part, the background is all black, and then usually the subject there, it's almost like someone's shining like a flashlight on them. They only have like the singular source of light illuminating things. Everything else, like literally everything else, is in darkness. So you see the background here, you see like here in Jesus's eyes, you see here like this is almost like melding together because you can't see the details, right? So this is an example of chiaroscuro, but more so like tenebrism. Like it's just very intense. Yo soy gato. You're a soy cat? Wait, soy milk, not soy cat. Oh, cause in Tagalog, gatas is milk. Would it be leche? Binka is death. Oh no, not what I meant. Yo soy leche. There you go. I think leche is also a swear in Tagalog, isn't it? I've definitely heard my parents say it. So before I was friends with an Italian and he was talking in Italian, for some reason I fully understand what he said. Interesting. So if you know like a Romance language, such as like Spanish, French, Romanian, or Italian in this case, usually like they share a lot of root words with each other. I have a lot of trouble recalling words off the top of my head, so but I'm trying to think what roots are shared. I guess like good, like buongiorno, like bon in buongiorno is good, right? And then bien, and then I think it's bien in both Spanish and French, right? But yeah, so it maybe it's because you knew some of those root words. Maybe. It'd be estoy muerta for I'm dead. Estoy muerta. I'm dead, it's so hot. If you wanted to say I'm dying, me estoy muriendo. Ooh, okay. We're learning. My sister can explain why as a linguist, but I'm a small brain. I love linguistics. I just don't know enough to like speak on it. I just know stuff like root words, right? Like shared root words. Oh, Latin is another one. I think Matthew knows like a little bit of Latin, right? Yeah, there we go. You listed all the Romance languages. So Italian, French, Spanish, Portuguese, Latin, Romanian. Those are all Romance languages. They share a lot of similar root words. Ooh, hello, Milky. Yes, chiaroscuro fan arts hit so hard. It's true. So, you know, if you guys want examples of like, actually, we can look. Let me just open up another window. Caravaggio is like, if you guys don't know about this artist, he's like kind of infamous for having this like really dramatic lighting effects. The reason why I didn't include a lot of his works on here is because a lot of it does include like violence, a little bit of gore, blood, because he has quite a few scenes of people beheading other people. So it is a bit graphic. This is your warning right now. Let's say if you do not like that, come back in, let's say, 3 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and switch over the tab to show you what I mean. So 3, 2, 1. There you go. This is some of Caravaggio's art. Caravaggio. So as you can see, this is a biblical scene. I actually don't know, like, I know, like, there are quite a few biblical scenes with, like, beheadings. I forgot her name. Is this Jezebel? I don't really remember. I'm a fake Bible fan, but as you can see here, it's a very dramatic scene. But if we're talking about the lighting over here, it's almost like there's a spotlight up here. It's shining down, which is why like this part of her body is well lit, as with like these curtains, this part of his body. Everything else is kind of in shadow, right? So like this is in shadow, this is in I love her face. Look at her face. She's like, yeah, kill him, yeah. Do it. So I think that one is similar to the one Artemisia. That's an artist that I wanted to also look more into. Artemisia, she also painted the same scene, right? I also really like her name. The Jesus fandom is crazy. I'll catch up to Chad in a bit, but here's another one. I can't be the only one that thinks it kind of reminds me of Connor. No, poor Connor. But this is another scene, right? The same thing. So like the background is all black. There isn't any extraneous details, right? And then like there's a singular light source. It's like coming up here from the corner. So like this part is all lit, but this is in shadow. This is in shadow. This half of not Connor's face is in shadow. So it's very dramatic, basically. And it's almost like there's like these if you look at the shading on the arm, for example. Maybe we can we zoom in? No, I don't wanna. Some of these articles are like, oh, you could read all of it if you if you subscribe to us. And it's like I don't want to. Open in a new tab. No, it's not letting me. Wait, open image in new tab. Okay, close enough. If you look at the arm, so this is something that I'm going to talk about with the other word, which is sfumato. If you look at this though, look at the boundary between shadow and highlight, or rather shadow and like not shadow. It's almost like a very strict boundary, right? Like you could just draw a line where the shadow is separated from the rest of the body. So we're gonna come back to that because there's another style called sfumato, which doesn't have that strict line. It's a little bit more of a softer transition. So this is a close-up from the Birth of Venus, and as you can see here, it's smoother. So this is the place that's in shadow, this is the place that's in light. It's a smoother transition. So they're not exactly opposites, but like very much so. Like they kind of have different ideals, so to speak. So let's catch up on chat. Let's see. I could eat off Caravaggio's art. Let's see. Oh, I missed out on a couple. Okay, so Gli piacciono la mele is Italian for your apples are pleasing to me, aka I like your ass. There we go. Please, Matthew, I can only pin so many comments. Like this. I can only pin so much. You have to stop putting out these bangers. Me estoy muriendo? How about me estoy merienda? I am a snack. I gotta pin that too. You guys gotta stop. Yeah, hello Milky. I could eat off Caravaggio's art. He's so good. Behead. School Charm is gonna get back. I gotta get back later. Have fun. Yeah, thanks for joining in, Julian. Thank you. I love being a fake Bible fan. They look so chill. The beheading one was painted by a woman was more graphic. Yeah, I've heard about that. That there's this artist named Artemisia who painted the same scene. It's more graphic, and a lot of people kind of attribute it to like, you know, your mileage can vary on this, but it's like she as a woman has kind of like faced a little bit more, I guess, violence, as well as like having this want to like draw it more graphically. I don't know. There's different reasons for it. Jesus fandom is crazy. No, Connor, no! The commander meets his end. Hers was related to her unfortunate teachings from another painter, so hers were a lot more graphic when she was able to break away from her mentor. There you go. So there, Kurodaya is given the information. While we're on the topic, how about a look at I can't pronounce that. That looks Polish, right? I will copy it though. I'll copy it. We'll take a look on another tab. Oh, no. Why isn't it letting me copy? Copy. Oh, okay. I was like, which painting is this? It's the one that does in fact look like the commander. It's this one. Totally not Gabba's Battle. Shonen versus Shoujo rendering. You are so right, Milky. You're like 100% right. She sneaked her assaulter as the one that was being beheaded. Yeah, there we go. So, let's look at that too. So, Artemisia beheading. Yeah, it's this one. This is also a really good look at the what we were talking about, kind of that dramatic lighting. Judith beheading Holofernes. Yeah, that's this one. Oh, this is pretty graphic, so come back in let's do another 3 minutes. Let's come back in about 4 minutes if this is like a bit too much. it is a bit too much, then like, feel free to come back in 4 minutes. I'll try to finish up with this by then. But okay, we're gonna zoom down. We're gonna zoom down, or we're gonna, you know, go back up here. So yeah, this is a lot more violent because it is based off kind of like her pretty violent experiences too with her assaulter. So yeah, this is another kind of take on it. Lighting wise, very similar, right? This is more chiaroscuro though, because you can still see like with tenebrism, if it's in shadow, it's like gone, like the detail is not there anymore. While here there are things in shadow, like this part of the covers, but you could still kind of make it out. You could still kind of like see the details. If this was tenebrism, it would just all be black. But very, very similar, very dramatic lighting, right? Get his ass. I love when they use this one in thumbnails for YouTube for those, you're an evil Renaissance gesture planning world domination in the 16th century playlist. I've seen that one. I've also seen the one that's like Lucifer glaring, you know? This one, in terms of whether this is like, you know, chiaroscuro or sfumato, I feel like this one is a bit softer, actually. Because look, you can still, it is like quite dramatic, you could still make out a lot of the contrast here. But, like, if this were tenebrism, these curtains, you wouldn't be able to see that detail. This detail over here, you wouldn't be able to see that. It would just be focused on the gesture, right? So I want to say that this is a little bit more on the side of like sfumato, which is a little bit softer. So, but yeah, so those are two examples of rendering. So there's the chiaroscuro, there's the tenebrism, and then there's sfumato. Sfumato. And if you want to see more artists that use this sfumato, oh, by the way, the word sfumato, according to my research, it means smoky. Like you kind of want your edges to be like smoky, soft, and like there's a little bit of a transition between them. Yeah. Oh, I love this song, Prisoner of Love. My Hetalia fan art, fanfics, fan videos. Oh my god, this is Advarcher's work, so thank you for linking this. Matthew, thank you. Oh my god, look, it's Vanguard in the background. So yeah, there you go. Excellent example, right? We've probably seen this gesture before. Exactly. Okay, I'm gonna close out some of these tabs, because having too many tabs open stresses me out a little. Okay. Phantom's so cute, he is! He got stung by a bee, you know? Or that's just what I heard from his stream. I don't know if he's like referring to like an actual pet that he has, or if he's just like BSing and he's just making up lore for Phantom. But yeah, so if you want more artists that use sfumato, Da Vinci is your guy, right? Da Vinci. Mona Lisa is probably like one of the like most obvious famous paintings by Da Vinci. And it also has that very like smoky look to it. So like if you look at the shadows here, it's not super, how do I say this? Like the line between shadow and highlight or shadow and midtone, it has a transition. It's almost like an airbrush as opposed to like cell shading. Da Vinci? Exactly. Stanzik? I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. It's one of my favorite. Basically, jesters were also political advisors back when, and Stanzik just heard that stuff went down. Oh no. And here I thought jesters were just the hee hee ha ha. I've seen tweets about them like having like, what's the jester's privilege where you can like make fun of someone without getting executed, essentially. So yeah. Oh, I just noticed I have some dropped frames. You let me know if there's been any stuttering. I'm glad to go back over anything if you guys want. But yeah, so Botticelli is another one. Da Vinci is kind of like if Caravaggio is the guy for what's it called, for chiaroscuro, then Da Vinci is the one for sfumato. It's already been an hour? Man, okay. There's gonna be an ad break within the next 5 to 10 minutes, so at that point we can go out to the yard if you guys want to play some basketball. Or do a boss battle. Either's fine. Yes, and for that reason, they were often used to diss noble people and that their patron didn't like. I actually didn't know that. We gotta check out more jester lore. Here I am just paying attention to the one gesture, right? All right, you guys have any questions about these pictures or these vocab words that you don't have to memorize? I'm wondering if I should just let the ad play now. Hold on. And then we can get back. Now, I think, well, we're just gonna go on to the next slide. And then whenever the ad is ready to play, we'll just stop. I'm gonna be working on assembling a jester outfit for Renfrey. Ooh, very cool, very cool. That sounds pretty cool. That sounds pretty exciting. Okay, so that's not the only types of rendering. There's a little bit more, especially as we get into kind of more contemporary times. And especially now that we have like other forms of media other than just painting. So we have movies, we have animation, we have stuff like that. So here's a couple other examples of rendering, of shading. Right, so joining the ranks of Sfumato and Chiaroscuro. Gotta work on your sick diss tracks. So here's a couple examples. And this isn't exhaustive, you know. This if I were to list every single type of rendering, we'd be here all day. So I'm just giving 2 more examples here. So cell shading. The kind of like the dramatic shading we were seeing, so the chiaroscuro. For cell shading, as we see in a lot of like anime, certain types of video games, it's in blocks. Like you see the shadows here on his shoulder. It's all in like a block. It's not really like soft shading. It's almost like hard shading in a way. You do see a little bit of soft shading in like the background here, and over here like this part of the console. But if you focus on the character over here on Spike Spiegel, it's mostly what's called cell shading, where, like I said, it has these boundaries. And the reason it's like that is because overall, well, someone who's in animation can probably like educate me more on this, but it's just easier to animate. I was actually surprised. I was doing a little bit of research on like what is the history of cell shading, because I assumed that this was like a thing for a very long time, right? It's actually something that only came up during the 1990s because of anime. And I was like, no way. There had to, like, Disney had to have used cell shading in the past, right? Turns out no. I didn't save the image, but 1980s Disney movies. They do have shading in like posters. And they have shading in like very dramatic, you know what? I'm just gonna show you this. There was a certain look, see, so here there is cell shading. This is from Little Mermaid, but this is like a very dramatic moment. Otherwise, if you notice, a lot of these movies don't actually have a lot of shading on them. It's literally just the straight stark color. I never realized that. I just kind of, I don't know if my brain just remembered like all these cartoons having like shading. I guess I was wrong. And the reason why is because it's just so much easier to animate. The exception, of course, is the background. Look at the background. Some of them are very detailed, right? There's like, look at the shading here on this barrel, here on this thing, because those things aren't moving around. This character, Robin Hood, is going to be moving around. These cats are going to be moving around. The Fox and the Hound, which made me cry so many times. These are the things that are going to be moving around. And if you have to like think about stuff like shading, then it gets a little bit harder. That's why you only saw it in like big budget films like Akira. We got any animators in the house? I know if anyone comes in like Omana or Dirge or anyone, then they can please feel free to correct me. I'm always open to being corrected on these things. And of course you see shading in like movie posters too, right? Here we do start to see some cell shading. Like look at this guy from Gargoyles. This was my step grandpa's favorite. But not always, not always. Like this is more of a movie poster or like a VHS poster. So then in the 90s we start to see this. Thank you for snoozing that. I think we'll snooze it one more time depending on where I'm at in the conversation. So yeah, that's cell shading, and it kind of arose out of this whole idea of like it's just easier to animate. But nowadays, even though like we have I'm gonna go into this later too, you have like better ways of shading or more efficient ways of shading. Lots of games still use this as like a stylistic choice, and lots of like anime and cartoons use this as like a stylistic choice. So yeah, that's cell shading. It's very similar to like this idea from chiaroscuro and tenebrism, right? But a little like manifested in kind of a different way. And then, as opposed to that, we also have airbrush or soft shading. So this is kind of like sfumato in a way. This isn't like the best example. This is almost like a mix, right? But if you look at the shading here on, this is a poster from Star Wars back from the 1970s. So Star Wars: A New Hope. This was a movie poster, and it was likely made with like airbrush. Now, if you see here, there are examples of like very stark shadows, like here, the shadow here, the black shadows on Luke's outfit. But if you look like here, there's white on this side of his outfit and like a light blue here. So this is kind of like a softer shading, very kind of similar to the sfumato that we were talking about a little while ago. So this is kind of a mix. So I don't mean to imply, by the way, that like, oh, this is the successor to chiaroscuro. This is the successor to sfumato. No. It's just that these are other different ways of shading. And yeah, they probably might have taken advice or taken inspiration from those styles, but I wouldn't say that they're like the direct successors, if that makes sense. So, like I said, there's a whole bunch of other styles too, but if I were to try to list them all, we'd be here all day. So with that, let's go ahead and move on. So, we're going to talk a little bit more about animation, but before we get to that, I wanted to talk about, like, showing shading in different mediums. I think, actually, the plural of mediums is actually media, but it just sounds, I don't know, it didn't hit the same. Because I wanted to make this point that it's different, like, the kind of material that you're working with lends itself to different types of shading. But someone feel free to correct me on that. Like, I think the plural for medium is media, is it not? But anyway, so these are woodcuts. These were all the rage back in the olden days. And what it basically is someone would carve, I kind of went over this in, I think, the episode or the stream where we covered, I think, line. So woodcuts are basically you cut into wood with like a sharp object, and like you basically make like a stamp. It's very similar to the same idea of like a stamp. So you cut out this block of wood, but you can't exactly show like shading like in the same way that you show shading here. So you would have to do something either similar to cell shading. Ooh, let's see. I think it's correct to medium when it's related to the tools and products and the medium of the work to use mediums. Okay, cool. I was like really not sure about like, is it mediums or is it media? but I feel like even like the most strict linguist will be like, yeah, it's fine. But yeah, going back to this, so how do you show shading when your way of like kind of making the art is cutting into a piece of wood? And the answer is with stuff like hatching. If you look really closely at this, what is this? A ram? I just kind of got this off Google. And like this, these blades of grass, it's basically just lines. It's lines like over and over and over. I've only ever heard it as mediums and medium. Me too. But I remember one time, hi Saku, hello. I remember one time, I think I heard someone say that, like, actually, yeah, the plural of medium is media. And I'm like, oh, that, like, kind of makes sense if you think about the usage of the word media, but at the same time, I've also only heard it as mediums, so, yeah. But welcome, Saku. We just got done talking about, like, different types of shading in art, animation, movie posters. We're talking about woodcuts here, but we're also going to go back to animation as well. So this is just to show that, like, I gotta burp. Give me a second. You know what? Let's snooze this ad. I feel like I'll be done by the time the ad actually starts playing. So we'll snooze this one. There we go. Okay, so yeah, with woodcuts, it's just that this is just to show that like you can do shading without doing like I guess these transitions. This is like an example of shading is what I'm trying to say. When it comes to animation though. There we go. Oh, this is the image that I was gonna use. I forgot that I put it here. So yeah, as we talked about, I don't know why I just completely misremembered that like Disney had shading when it didn't. It just started with like just colors because it's easier to animate, right? Especially because back then everything was hand animated. Someone was drawing every single frame, right? So it's just so much easier to animate that when you don't have to worry about shading. However, times have changed. Technology's gotten a lot better. And when it comes to animation, people are capable of so many different things now. This is an example of animation that is like kind of assisted, but also like it's hard to draw the line. Kind of, it's very obviously assisted by like 3D models, if not just using 3D models. But they have this very painterly style to them. This is from Arcane. I haven't finished it. I don't play. This is from. Oh no! Please, someone correct me. Arcane is based off League? Question mark, right? Like it's based off characters from League of Legends? I remember me and oh yeah? Cool. Thank you, Matthew. Me and Beans, we dropped by a friend's place, I think about a year ago, and then this happened to be playing on the telly. Or they put it on because it's on Netflix. It's not like you could turn to channel 7 and just have Arcane playing. But yeah, they put it on Netflix. And me and our friends were just watching it. I was just like super amazed with the animation because like this is not something you could do. Well, technically it is something that you could do with hand animation. It just takes so long. In fact, I think isn't there a Van Gogh movie that is kind of animated like this? It's like hand painted though. Van Gogh movie. Here, let's watch this. Like, look at that. It's every single frame is like hand painted. I'm lowering it because it's a little loud for me. Like, look at that. Van Gogh. Yeah, we won't watch the whole thing, but yeah, like it is possible to do every single frame like hand painted, but it takes so much time. So like when you want to like at least emulate a look like this, then you could use like 3D models and then like just make sure they're composited properly, because otherwise you end up with like really bad CG. But this is an example of like really good animation in CG. So this is just to show kind of like the animation has come a long way. Like this was already pretty well animated too, but now you can implement things like shading, texture in it. So yeah, this is all to just show that. Yeah, any questions so far? Let's put the Utada Hikaru back on. So yeah, all this to say, shading and stuff, that's how it be. Okay, before I go on to the next part, I think this would be a good spot for an ad break. I'm just seeing if I'm able to. Let me see. Let me refresh. Because it's only giving me the option for like a 1-minute break. No. You know what? Let's do this. We're gonna go to the BRB screen. We're not gonna BRB just yet, but we can at the very least, I can ask you guys what you guys want to do for recess when we do go on our ad break. So for those who don't know, we do have a new system where like if you're subbed during the break, you can stick around here and we can play some games together, or you guys can play while I take a break. And then people who are not subbed, then they just have the 3-minute ad. But we have either boss fight, basketball, or mosh pit. What do you guys want? Oh no, the ad break's gonna start in a minute. You guys gotta decide. And if there is no decision, then I will just decide. But would you guys... Boss fight? Okay, let's do boss fight. And if you guys don't know what to do, I'm gonna pin it. So you need to join, but you need to put either join Ranger, Druid, Bard, Necromancer, Priest, Mage, or Warrior. You unfortunately can't do any other classes other than that. So there you go. Join free. There you go. Oh, Matthew, I think you might have misspelled. There you go. So we got 2 necromancers, we got a druid, we got a priest. Any other takers? The only thing is, once we go into the ad break, you won't be able to control it. So I would say if you go into the ad break, type either 1, 2, or 3 when it comes to your turn. Should I join? No, I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna take a break. But yeah, once it starts, a boss is gonna pop up in like 5 seconds, and then you guys will fight him. So just put 1, 2, or 3. Light party. I love it. Oh, you guys got some NPCs with you, so hopefully that'll help. Cool, cool. Ooh, you get vampirism? That's so cool. What do you mean the target's not found? You did it properly, huh? I don't understand. It's Milky's turn. Oh yeah, it's Milky's turn, so put either 1, 2, or 3. Oh no, she might be stuck in ad jail! Oh no! Oh, I think she did it, but I don't know if it read properly. Yeah, she did do it. Yeah, you did it. Nice, nice, nice. It's May Shark's turn, but are you? Yeah, you're subbed. You're subbed. There you go. Why does it say? Oh, you do have to put a target. You have to put like target, like May Shark or something like that. You do have to target. Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. You have to put like, you know, target Yellow Slug, target 4 Milks, that kind of thing. Sorry, I didn't realize. I didn't realize. It's okay. It's okay. We're learning. We're learning. But I attacked the boss? Oh, yeah. So for bones, you do have to put a target. Summons, deal 7. Oh! Wait, that doesn't make sense because there's only one boss. Huh? Yeah, one needs a target. But that also doesn't make sense because there's only the boss. Oh, well. Alright, I'm gonna be sipping on some water. Good luck with this boss. I believe in you guys. Yeah, I think so, Cielo. I think so. Oh no! Then I wonder what the... Oh, you think it's without the at? You did attack it though. You did attack it. I saw it. I saw it with my own 2 peepers. Oh, someone tell Milky that it's her turn. Milky, your turn! Sorry, ad jail. I think you did it! Nice. I like that Milky's able to... Oh, you can see it! Are you not in ad jail? Oh, in ad jail, I think it ended, so now everyone... Is there an ad right now? It just ended. It just ended, actually. Maybe OBS is lying to me again. I think you guys are halfway. You guys are halfway through the boss. Hello, Zako. NFT? There's no NFT on here. What do I type? I think it might be, like, if you're looking at Matthew's moveset right now, it'd be like exclamation bones, boss, but I actually have no idea, to be honest. I remember in Ragna when there was a lack of priests because no one wanted to be the healer, and the guild wars happened, and everyone was crying for healers for their guild. Oh no! This is just broken, I guess. I think so. I have to figure it out too. It might be exclamation point the move, but without the @ symbol for the boss. But the boss does have a name. What was is it? I think it's Pumpkin King. But for things that damage, I don't see the point of having to @ the boss. You know. Matthew just did one boss and it didn't work. Oh, you're right. You're right. Next time, I'll join you guys and see what I could do too. Because it is confusing. I do apologize for that. But you guys are doing swell. You missed the art auction? No, we're just taking a break right now. They're defeating a boss, you see. This is a thing I do, summon a friend for one of my allies. Let's try it out. Let's try it out. You might need to do like Bones 4 milks or something. So I don't know what just happened. Cause it seemed like that went through, right? You saw that too? Like oh, they have a little skelly! Oh, okay. So when you have a target, it's only allies. I see, I see. We're figuring it out together! I believe in you guys! I believe! Oh, and the NPCs are buffing you guys. I see, I see. Oh no, NPC bot! Oh no. Oh no, we lost one! You guys lost one, no! Have to heal Matthew. Yeah, rip bot! Oh no. You guys are over halfway through, so you guys are doing good. I like that one of the moves is just called Bear. Oh no, the bots have burns on them. Poor guys. They never stood a chance. See, isn't this fun yard house? Wait, not yard house, like yard playtime? Backyard playtime? No, the NPC bot! I'll try to fiddle around with the settings, because I think I might have made the timer for the moves a little too short. It's like we're RPing on the playground. It's like, instead of like... Wait, what's that one video of, lightning bolt, lightning bolt? Like, you guys are just tossing, like, packets. Oh, you did it! You did it! Good job! Nice! Good job, y'all. Good job. LARPing. The bot carried us. Let's go! Fireball doesn't work. I'm immune. I have my arms up. You're like crossing your fingers. Nuh-uh, no cooties, nuh-uh. We got raptured, yay! So yeah, hopefully you guys had fun with that. Very proud of you guys, very proud of you guys. Let's go ahead and go back to our lesson. Ooh, what's this? What is this video that she linked, Matthew? Oh, it's the... Ah, there we go. Lightning bolt! This is what you guys were doing. Oh my god, he just whacked him! I know people like the normies make fun of this, right? But doesn't this seem really fun? Like, I don't know, to me this seems kind of fun. I want to do something like this. Lightning bolt. Magic missile! Exactly. That's us for real, for real. That makes a better classroom activity than dodgeball. I've done it before, it's fun. Oh, nice. Looks super fun. Normies are missing out. Lightning bolt. I can't do sports anymore because I don't get to hit people. LARPing is so cool. Ooh, I've never tried it before. It seems fun. It seems like it'd be fun. Okay, let's go back to the lesson. We're actually kind of at the tail end of it. There's still a little bit more stuff that we can take a look at, but let me close some tabs out. Like archery, go to arm guard, go shoot people for free. Oh no. Let me watch like a 15-second movie related to the subject. If you guys have one. Okay, so the value of value. Why are you even studying stuff like shadows and light? Like what's the value of it? What's the importance of it? Why bother having it? So the thing is, you don't have to have shading, highlights, rendering, any of that stuff. There's plenty of artists that don't use it. For example, like if you look at a lot of the merch that Omona makes, right? It doesn't have shading, highlights, and rendering, but it has other things. It has like, she has a really good grasp of like shape language, right? And like, kind of like how to make these really cool products, right? And sorry, Zako, I don't have links enabled. So you might either have to put it in the Discord or DM it, whisper it to Matthew. So yeah. So you don't have to have highlights and shading, but if you do, then you do get an added benefit. Binka has no shadow, it's true. I don't have any shading. It's actually a lot easier to like make outfits for myself that way. If you look under my hat, I actually do have a little bit of shadow under the hat, but that's actually it. So yeah, like technically I don't have any like shading. Let's see, feeling sporty, look for a local Dagger Here chapter near you. Is it Monsieur Rice? I don't have shading either. It's yeah, it's the way it's just easier. It's like I said, it's easier to animate, it's easier to quote unquote rig with my with PNGTuber Plus. So yeah. Wait, let me see, what's this video? Is this the one that Zako sent? Ah, okay. Let me cut the music. Guy gets super... Magic missile! Not sending the drone! Oh no! Guy gets mad at your mage build? That's so funny. Is the way that he yells magic missile! Just better. Magic missile! Magic missile! Thank you for that. Thank you for that, Zako. Okay, so yeah, what's the benefit of having stuff like that? It gives your artwork, or it gives it depth and form. It basically makes it look more 3D. So I got these two examples over here because there's this artist, Andy Warhol. He's more of like a modern artist. I'm very mixed on him, to be honest. But you can't argue that like his work has also become so popular that people will say that it's iconic, right? I'm mixed on the guy. But this is an example of one of his like kind of infamous works, which is like he basically did a screen print of a Campbell's soup can. There's a lot of stuff that you could say about that. I'm just gonna skip over that. But the reason I'm showing this is because it's very flat, as you can see. There's not a lot of shading or highlights. The only thing is kind of this implication of shadow here. Otherwise, it's very flat, right? There's no change in this color red. Mostly because it is, I believe, a screen print. Oh, no. Is this... I think I might have missed... Is this oil on canvas? I actually forgot. I think this might actually be screen print, but I don't remember. All his vids are him in wizard garb. Have we gone over blackout shadows? Kind of. We went over... We went over chiaroscuro and tenebrism. I didn't quite necessarily say like blackout shadows, but it's kind of similar to like what you see here. If you see these shadows, they're straight black, right? So that's kind of similar to that. And then this is a photo. There's actually a photo of that same soup can, right? Maybe not the same, but the same type of soup can. And it just has a little bit more depth because you see things like the highlights on the metal. You see a little bit of the highlights on either side of the can. Not too much shading. You do see some shading here, like underneath the tab. But basically, like, these are both the same thing, but one definitely has a little bit more depth because you can kind of see this as a 3D object because it has things like shading and highlights. Close enough, yep. Why was there Jinx's armpit? Very sus. It was talking about animation, just like animation and shading, that kind of thing. Milky, thank you for stopping by. Yeah. Good luck on your stream too. Good luck on your stream. Love you too. Mwah mwah. Choo choo. Yeah, take care. Take care. So that's one thing. The other thing is now this is the part where we get a little bit into photography. So even without rendering though, the value of value, or rather like the value of having highlights, shadows, and what I'm gonna point out here, contrast, is that it helps you just see like the different parts of an artwork, or in this case, a photograph. If you guys don't necessarily know what contrast is, you've probably seen it in your settings if you're ever like editing a photo or something like that. Basically, if you up the contrast, it makes the dark parts of your picture darker and the light parts, Good evening, George. Hello, George. Hello. So we were actually talking about animation earlier. I could go back to that section if you want. I was saying a lot of stuff that might be BS, but now that we have an expert to be like, actually, Bibinka, you're wrong. then we could do that. But I will finish this part over here though. So contrast is basically that, like making your light parts very light and making your dark parts very dark. You can do it with stuff like photography. And this is a really cool example that I learned about in, so I took not a photography class, but a history of photography class in college. That and my history of Gothic architecture class, those were the only two classes where I got a C, and I hated it. but I kind of fought hard for that C, because I think a lot of the ideas were just not like penetrating my bare brain, right? So, because of that, I actually remember a bit from both those classes. So they actually ended up becoming kind of like some of my favorites because of some of the concepts they covered. So when this is like one of the pieces that we studied in this like history of photography class. This is all the way from the 1800s. This is like near kind of the beginning of like photography, and this is technically a print. This is a platinum print from a glass negative, and it's actually made up of different negatives put together. So this photographer, Henry Peach Robinson, he took a couple of pictures around his house. Like, this isn't something that he took a pic. Like, this isn't actually something that happened and he took a picture. He took a picture of like this guy over here, right? Like just sitting. He took a picture of this woman with her baby sitting, right? And then he basically like combined them together. He developed them into a single print. So I think that's pretty cool, especially if we're talking about like, you can do that easily with Photoshop nowadays, but this is the 1800s. This is like the advent of photography. So he was already doing that. But not only that, he was also adjusting things like the contrast. Because if you were to just look at this photo, there's actually a lot going on. So like you see there's like plants over here, there's like a basket, there's a fireplace with all these knickknacks, you know, above the fireplace. There's a lot of stuff going on here with like, I don't know if this is like soup or something, and there's like dinner over here. But just going off of the lighting, what are our eyes actually supposed to be focusing on? The answer is, this is mostly black, right? Well, you guys can go ahead and answer in the chat if you want, but like, I would say that like the focal points, the things that your eyes are supposed to focus on, are the few light things in the photo. In fact, this woman over here, she's almost literally glowing. This is almost like, you guys throwing stuff at me. Wait, actually, I don't think anyone activated the toggle, so why did... Like, I'm pressing the button now, but I thought I saw something flying at me. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you guys saw that, right? There was a banana, but no one activated the redeem, so it's very mysterious. So mysterious. It's a ghost banana. But yeah, so the mother and child over here, she's like practically glowing. So that's almost like signaling like, hey, I'm the focal point of this. But you also see the white over here of the old man. And then you also see the light coming in from the window over here. It almost feels like those paintings that we looked at the very beginning, the chiaroscuro paintings, the Caravaggio paintings. But this is a photograph. It is a photograph. Some requests had to be approved. Just saw it asked in mod. Oh, I see, I see. Huh. Mysterious. What was I saying? Another cool thing about this was just very memorable to me because look at the title, Dawn and Sunset. What do you think that is referring to? Do you think this is referring to like the time of day when these pictures were taken, especially because it was like different? It's like different negatives put together, right? So maybe one part was taken in dawn, the other part was taken in sunset, or you know, dawn, sunset of life. Ooh, no, I'm just kidding, but you know, those are some possible interpretations, right? I feel like the title isn't so mysterious, but that's just one theory. But yeah, that was an Andy Warhol banana. Oh no, Andy Warhol, his ghost heard me. He's like, oh, this bear. This bear is talking smack about my Campbell's soup can. I'm gonna hit her with a banana. A game theory. Exactly, exactly. But yeah, so this is what I mean, like contrast. Contrast, it helps to highlight like the different parts of the composition. It helps lead the eye. If you don't know what that means, we will go into composition in a future episode, but like basically like composition is like the entire art piece. In this case, the photograph. So it helps lead your eye. Oh, I love this song too. This Sakura drops. But yeah, it leads your eye to see what the artist wants you to focus on. Or in this case, the photographer. So that goes to say, like, so if you have good contrast, that means you know where your eye is supposed to go, right? So what if there's bad contrast? Lack of contrast can sometimes mean lack of clarity, but, that's a big but, this can be used intentionally. This can be used, like, it's not necessarily a bad thing is what I'm saying, because this is a really cool photo / print by, we're now moving into the 1930s. So this is by Raoul Ubach. This is a French photographer. It's called Battle of the Amazons. And it's kind of supposed to be confusing. It's supposed to not really be clear what is going on here. Because I'll go ahead and let you guys look at it. Because I think, wait, give me a second. Okay. I thought I heard some one of the cats meowing, but I think it was an illusion. But yeah, go ahead and take a look at this photo, because it's crazy. Like, what is supposed to be going on here, you know? How did this photographer do this, right? I would, like I said, this is kind of all over the place, this presentation, but so I didn't do too much research on like Raoul Ubach and like this photo, but there's another one that I remember from my history of photography class. And it seems that he kind of played around with how he developed his photos. So this is an example of that. You can kind of see things like body parts, like almost half, like portions of body parts. This looks like an arm, right? And it's like going down into the butt over here, into the thigh, but it's incomplete. You don't see the rest of the form. You see like other kind of ghostly forms, right? It's not 100% clear, and I don't think it's supposed to be 100% clear. Like, yes, you can see these forms. However, like, there's a little bit of lack of clarity, but I think it's supposed to be kind of chaotic. It's kind of like that one work by Picasso, Guernica. It's a very chaotic piece. Same here. It's supposed to be chaotic. There's not supposed to be any kind of clarity. And that, I think what lends itself to that is the fact that there's not a lot of contrast. Where is your eye supposed to go, right? If you compare it to this one from the 1800s, and you go here to the 1930s, it's like, whoa. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be looking at. I just don't know. So, let me just check something. Yeah, so we're actually at the tail end of things, but we do still have a couple of things that we can look at. And that is, I actually still have my slides. I have the PDFs. Oh yeah, if you guys want to know what I'm talking about. This is Guernica by Picasso. Ah, why so small? There we go. Yeah, this is a very chaotic piece, intentionally so. Because it's supposed to show, like, kind of the horrors of, like, war, right? So you see, like, bodies kind of strewn and, like, cow heads, but like it's all terrifying. There seems to be like disembodied like limbs too. So very similar. Very similar in a way. So thank you, Matthew. So yeah, this is the last thing we'll really go over, but I do have a whole bunch of slides from when I took history of photography. Because as I was prepping for this presentation, I was just like, okay, what should I do to highlight this idea of like contrast, right? I was looking through all these slides and I was like, all of these are actually really good. And you know, it makes sense because like if you're a professor prepping for a class and you want to show the best of the best when it comes to photography, then you're going to be showing the best of the best. If not the best of the best, then at least photographs that kind of prove your point. So yeah, if it's okay with you guys, we can just kind of like we could peruse we could peruse these different photographs. There's like all this info here too. And if you see any that you're just like, oh, I want to talk more about that one. Oh, here, see, this dawn and sunset. Then we can also stop and look at them. But I'm also gonna take a quick hydration break, just a quick one, and then we'll get back to it. Let me. Which one? Oh, some of these are paintings. Let's focus on this one. So I'm gonna take a sippy break. You guys go ahead and look at this cool one by Daguerre. The bear. Yeah, I recall one of the cities, one of the first photograph take. Exactly. Daguerre, the man famous for making daguerreotypes. Exactly, Cielo and Kudo. You guys know your stuff. Bold du Temple. Beans the bear. I love that. Yes, exactly. So yeah, this was, so Daguerre, he's actually one of the first people to make photographs. I believe this is, at least according to my class, this is the first photograph. View from his window. This is a heliograph. I think this was made basically with sunlight as kind of the main whatchamacallit. See, I'm already forgetting everything from the class. Because one of the first types of cameras is the camera obscura, but that itself is not actually like a camera. What it is, it's hard to describe. Okay, camera obscura. Oh, you know who does a good job of explaining camera obscura? One of my Oshis, Radin, Jufute Radin from Hololive Regloss. Excuse me, I burped. Let me show you guys the camera obscura. So basically, let's say that you're in this tiny little room, right? If you poke a little bit of a hole, and then you, it's pointing at something, that object, because of the sun rays, this is actually a better diagram. The light rays are actually going to go into the hole, and they're actually going to reflect an image inverted inside this room. You can actually, if you have like a room with the right qualities, you can actually convert your room into a camera obscura. And that actually started out as an assisting tool for artists. Because it's like, oh, what's the point of like having an object that is like reversed like this? Basically, artists were able to trace that image in order to like recreate it. And there are some theories that some of the works of, I think, Vermeer, I think it's something called like The Musician or something, but there are theories that some of his works were probably made this way with a camera obscura. So that is actually not like a photography camera, it's a technique. It's a technique like that. But eventually, it did get converted into like a type of camera. Because then you could put in some kind of surface that will absorb that light and recreate the image on a surface. So like, this depends, like, sometimes they would use like certain things like silver, gelatin, and it would convert the object outside into an image. So these were kind of the first photographs. These were kind of the first attempts, and they're kind of murky, right? You can't really tell what's going on. This is actually like the roof of a house, And I think this is the rising sun, and that's kind of it. That's all that I can really make out. Like, I think this is a chimney, right? And I think this might be another house or maybe a tree. But as you can see, it's kind of murky, right? I love fetal frame. Wow. I myself have never played Fatal Frame or Fetal Frame, but they both sound charming. Camera screws are so cool. You use one for viewing. Oh yeah, that's true. For viewing an eclipse, you basically use the same technique. And during an eclipse, if you look at the shadow that's cast by trees, they also kind of like have that eclipse effect. Foxanon, hello! Hello, hello. I know this isn't your first chat here, but I'm happy that to have you in my chat. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. I understood that reference. But yeah, we're just taking a look at some photographs, some old photographs. These are all slides from my history of photography class. I checked to see that it doesn't have my old university or the class. I don't think it does, but who knows? But yeah, so these are other examples of heliographs. This is another one. So the first daguerreotype by Daguerre, Louis-Jacques Monde Daguerre. Still life in artist studio. So here's some examples. This is a cool one because the thing with old cameras, old daguerreotypes, is that it couldn't capture objects in motion. Like it had to you needed time for that daguerreotype to develop, essentially. So because of that, anything that was in motion couldn't be captured. So this was actually most likely a very busy street, but they're just not there because like they were constantly in motion. They weren't standing still enough to get captured, with one exception. If you look right down here, I think you guys can see my cursor, right? We can zoom in. We can zoom in. If you guys look right here, this is a guy lifting his leg to a shoe shiner. Or at least that's what my professor told me. But there's a guy lifting his leg to a shoe shiner. They were staying still just long enough for them to be captured on this daguerreotype. So actually, these are the very first, technically, these are the very first people to be photographed ever. And I don't think they even ever realized it. This is all the way back in like the 1830s, by the way. So this is really old. So yeah, that's like a little piece of photography history for you guys. And then eventually you see like people kind of experimenting with like what surface can absorb that light, right? So salted paper print from calotype negative. I don't know what those words mean. Like what's paper, you know? Salted paper print. Let's see. The first soul stolen. Oh no. I just imagine like the Dark Souls, like, you know, humanity gain, but instead it's like soul stolen. Yeah, I just also like looking at these because like not only are they a blast from the past, but they also show this idea of like contrast, right? Carbon print. Like this little lady over here, like you could see her form against like the sky. And then the rest are paintings. I think this is a good contrast. Like this is probably what that street looked like, right? But this is a painting of that street. And by the way, I say this all the time, but oh look, see these little murky figures here? Those are people. Those are the people that stood still just long enough to get caught by the camera. And this is a painting done at the same time. Look how bustling the street is in comparison to here. So this was probably full of people, but these are the only people that like stood still long enough. Maybe they were in conversation. Maybe they also had shoe shiners. I don't know, but yeah. Calotype or tablotype is an early photographic process introduced by William Henry Fox Talbot using paper coated with silver iodide. Thank you, Foxanon. I could see that as a Bloodborne boss. Frederick the Shoe Shiner. Yeah, so Impressionism. This is another thing that I've gone over a couple of times, but I'll repeat it for the folks that are new. The whole idea of like Impressionist art. Oh, Mega Bronson, hello. Also, anyone else who hasn't gotten their 1 point redeemed, their sniffa sticker. Go ahead and get your sniffa sticker. Your scratching sniffa sticker. There you go. So I say this all the time, but the advent of photography led to art getting kind of weird. So So, you know, the moment that like this happened where it's like, oh, we don't have to make paintings of the buildings anymore. We could just take a photograph of it. That's when painters were like, uh-oh, well, what do we do now? You know? Nice, you guys got your stickers. Kuro, you got yours. Fox and all, you got yours. Mega Bronson Cielo. Nice, nice. So yeah, like, by this point, you start to see the artists start to explore the different ways that painting can be different from photography. So if a photograph can do this, at the very least, a painting can do this. But then photographs keep getting better and better and better. So now we have to think about like, okay, well, can a photograph do this? And now they're playing with color, they're playing with texture, which we are gonna get into color and texture. Those are actually the next installments after I get back from my vacation. So yeah. Let's see, that's week 1. Don't worry, we don't have to go through each and every one of the weeks, but these are just really cool slides. So this is another, ooh, look, it's a ghost. It's so spooky. It's so scary. But yeah, these wispy figures, these are people, and they stood still long enough to get kind of captured by the photo in a photograph, but not long enough, right? I know, it's so spooky. But look at this, like, I think for me what's kind of endearing is like seeing people react to like a camera for the first time. Because you see it in those, actually let me see if I can find it. Have you guys ever seen those videos that are like it's at 60 FPS, but it's like, oh, people in the 19th century videotaped and AI enhanced to be 60 FPS. Let me see if I can find those videos. So France 19th century video. I feel like I do have to put 60 FPS. Found it. I'm muting the original music because we're gonna keep listening to Utaru Hikaru. Like here. So this is around the same time as these photos. Cool folks, but want to get into, there we go. I think I like the crowd shots where you see people being like, what the heck? Like, what is that? What is... I kind of love that. They're just like, what is this weird contraption that is capturing our image? They feel odd, yeah. I think it's because of, so this is kind of an earlier use of AI, right? Of like, it's colorizing, because these were originally black and white. They're colorizing and they're upscaling it to 60 FPS. So some of the shots are gonna look kind of wonky and blurry, but for the most part, it looks really cool, right? And of course, if you go into the comments section, it's like, all these people are dead. And it's like, well, yeah. No shit, Sherlock. I mean, no poop, Sherlock. It's like a very fascinating look into the past. I like this guy's like in a hurry. But he's like, oh, what the? The FPS is too high. Mm-hmm. It kind of is. But a lot of these... Can we find one that's not? That's not like 60 FPS. Let's see. Trip through Paris. Thank you. Oh, we got watermelon. We got watermelon. 1980. All of them are upscaled. All of these videos are upscaled. Oh no, I found this one. I actually like this. Bring back my 12 FPS. This is Vici. Let's go. Yeah, this is that same video, but it's just not upscaled. It's like, let's see. Okay, for a video like that, I feel like I would rather it be the quality that it was shot at. Yeah, there we go. So this one too. If I recall, laugh tracks are another case adults recorded in the 50s, so all dead. I heard that too, Foxanon. I heard that too, that like, whenever you listen to a laugh track, like, what still uses laugh track? Big Bang Theory? Like, A lot of those were recorded in the 50s. So yeah, some of them are dead. Yeah. I do remember going to a live showing once though. What was it for? It had who's the guy that plays Senor Chang again in Community? His last name is Jong. Senor Chang. Ken Jeong. Ken Jeong. He was like in another show, and I remember going to like yeah, Ken Jeong. Thank you, thank you. I remember like being at a live screening of like a show that had him, but I don't remember what it was called anymore. So at the very least, the laugh track in that episode, you might hear a little Babinka in there. Can you imagine if it's just like like super obvious, like you watch that one episode and it's like quite literally my laugh? Like you hear wheezing and stuff. A bear laugh. Like you hear laughter and then you hear someone be like, "Oh my god, it's a bear." Time for me to mimis. This was a fun stream. I'm glad. Thank you again for the raid, Kudo, and have a good night. Have a good night. Yeah, we can wrap up soon. Let's see. We're 3 minutes away from the 2-hour mark, so let's look at a couple more slides and then we could call it. We can call it. We could raid into someone. Yeah, I like this photo too. See, like you could see like the reflection of like the building in there. These are all mannequins, by the way, which is why they're all captured on the film, because they're not moving, right? Or rather, they shouldn't be moving. And then you do start to get prostitute. There you go. You do start to get pictures with people, right? People that are standing still. Let's see. What about this one? So we do get some photographs that don't have that high contrast, but it's for specific reasons, right? Like, obviously, this one of a winter scene isn't gonna have the best contrast because you have like all of the snow blocking the way, but this is still a pretty cool look into the past, right? Photogravure. This is how they have fun. This is how they had fun back then. Can you believe it? This is another one that I saw that isn't super high contrast, but you still see like the tree branches in the foreground and this mysterious figure, right? Who is that, I wonder? This is actually kind of surreal now that I think about it. And there is also what's called like surreal photography, which I'll show you as well. Because for the most part, like I remember going into this history of photography class being like, boring. It's just gonna be a whole bunch of pictures of people in buildings, boring. But I don't know, I did get like a new appreciation for photography because, you know, there are decisions being made in terms of like how to frame the picture, how to like get this contrast, right? And then when it got to like surreal stuff, then I was like super amazed. Like stuff like this. Like, you have to really think about, like, how you want to, like, compose the shot. So I learned better. Blind woman. And it's also, like, wow, did they do this back then? Where they just, like, this person is blind. I think one of my favorite photography things that happened was these girls in the UK who had pictures of themselves with fairies, and it started a whole thing about whether fairies were real or not because the photos weren't manipulated. Oh, geez. That is something that I think is really cool. Just the idea of, like, we kind of take photo editing and photo, like, kind of manipulation for granted nowadays because, get educated, fool. Oh, you just reminded me of a friend of mine who, like, he's, how do I say this? He's kind of a cholo, but he's also Filipino. He just grew up, like, in a predominantly, like, cholo Hispanic, like, neighborhood. So he kind of talks like that. He kind of talks like... But that's literally his, like, natural accent. That's literally how he talks. So... But he was always sharing, like, foo memes, you know? Like, foo's gone wild memes. And I'm like, oh, I kind of miss him. He's funny. Like... He's kind of a tough guy, but whenever he sees like a plushie, he'll be like, oh, yo, this is the homie, you know, like, like I remember like we used to bring like plushies to like our Filipino club, just like a little comfort thing, right? And he'd be like, oh, this is Mr. Pancakes. Mr. Pancakes is the homeboy, you know? I miss him. Anyway. This is another really cool one. So we do start to see like photographs that they do what's called like it gets kind of surreal and it gets kind of abstract. Paternal instinct going hard, yeah. Exactly. He was a cool guy, or he is a cool guy. So this is just a close-up of bowls, right? It even says in the title bowls, but if you didn't know that, then because it's so close up and because of the way that it's composed, it's like, oh, what's going on here, right? Like, what are these? Are these like trombones or something? Are these like flowers? It kind of adds a little bit of mystery to it. It adds a little bit of like interpretation for the viewer, right? And I think this is the point where I was like, okay, maybe photography isn't boring. Like, that's where I was like, okay. I wasn't familiar with your game. Photography. Oh no, Nikki. But kind of the same idea of like, you know, now we start to get into like, oh, what's going on here? A mug by Randon Vesper Noir. Why did you put two different VTubers in there, Matthew? This one's also kind of weird, huh? Like, it's a pepper. It's just a bell pepper, but like, if we didn't have that title, would you have known that? Would you have even known that this was a photo? Those are two completely unrelated VTubers. Exactly, CLO. Exactly. It's like the John Cena thing. Like, why did you just post a why did you just post a blank photo for? But yeah, like this is like a pretty cool one. This is from 1930, by the way. Brain fart. It's a collab effort. This one too. This one's also like kind of abstract. But this one also uses like light and shadow in an interesting way because it's like it says leaf pattern, but is it like I see the leaf texture, but like what is negative space? What is positive space, right? I can't delete my own messages. It's okay. It's okay. I would love to see a collab between my two Oshi's Vesper Noir and Randon Nuri. Nah, I think they'd hate each other. I think. Just nah. Oh yeah. I was asking Beans earlier, like, I was thinking of like including photography in my presentation tonight. And I was like, which ones do you recommend? And he said Ansel Adams, and I wasn't familiar. So I forgot that he was also in these slides. So my professor might be like, Bibinka, what the hell? They never returned from that bike trip. It's okay. They fought in a Denny's parking lot a few months back. Oh man. Who won? Maybe one of them got distracted by a tree. Ah, oh, jeez. Brandon ate Vesper, actually. I believe it. He ate him in the back of that Denny's. Both lost. They both lost horribly. And then one of them, maybe even both of them, got distracted by a tree. Oh, what a travesty. But yeah, Ansel Adams is known for like these really cool landscape photos, by the way. Which I forgot about. Somehow we all lost, but we also all won. Yeah, it's like that tweet that Nana posted, the one where it's like, I posted my spear, please respond. I can't believe Lando was widowed so young. Oh, poor guy. I'm die, thank you forever. Poor guy, never stood a chance. I showed you my spear, please respond. Now we're just looking. Ballsack. Wait, there was something that I wanted to highlight. So this is how the Rogues Gallery. This is how they got like, you know, wanted criminals. It was in like a set of pictures like this. I did show him my spear. He has yet to respond. You know, I look back at that post from like a year ago just to see like all the people that responded. I don't know if this is controversial to say at all, but do you guys notice that if you guys are familiar with Liminal Lark, he responded to that. And I was like, oh wow, I love both of them. But I'm also gonna drop the topic there because I don't know, that's kind of that's the old Facebook. You're so right, Vase Shark, you're so right. Look, it's the old Facebook. This is how they, I guess Wait, then that leads to the question of how did they do mugshots back then? Like before photography? Because obviously I think these are photographs, right? Did they just sketch them? I'm sure he's fine, but he's also been radio silent on every platform since saying he was dizzy from the heat on Saturday and I'm unreasonably anxious. I think he's fine. I think he's fine. He'll... Well, at the very least, we'll see if he pops up tomorrow. I'm gonna be at the office, so I'm gonna miss any stream that happens, but... but I'm sure he's fine. I don't want to be the toxic positivity person, but it's also the one thing that helps me from going insane. So... so, yeah. Let's go to the next set of slides. We're to think that Rogues Gallery is now exclusively a Batman term. I think about that too. Well, I know that like occasionally they use it for like the Flash too, right? Like this is the Rogues Gallery of the Flash, but I also associate it with Batman. I also associate it with like, oh yeah, there's Harley Quinn and I'm the Joker, baby. And what's Poison Ivy? Poison Ivy. I was like, Pamela Ivy? Poison Isley? But yeah, true, but Bat's above all. Yeah, it's true. I do want to get back into reading Batman. The last time I was really into comics was New 52. Look, doesn't this photo remind you of of that one animation with Crank That Soldier Boy with Crony and Vesper? I know it's based off like the Evangelion thing, but like but like doesn't it remind you of that? That's as soon as I saw this picture, I was like, wait a second. You dun 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 Soldier Boy up in this. Wow. Scary. I never noticed this. So this is an interesting photo. It just shows like the strawberry picker's daughter, right? This is a painting. This is like modeled after I think Da Vinci's painting. It's like the Madonna on the Rocks or something like that. I never noticed that before. Yoo! Did any of you guys know how to dance the Soldier Boy? I think that's like the main... Da Vinci? That's the main thing. Oh, we're gonna get into Dorothea Lange. If you guys don't know who she is, yes you do. She's the one who took this picture. Which, like, if you ever had to take, like, American history at any point in your life, you've probably seen this picture. This is, people... I don't know if this is true or not, but it's something like this mother of two is only, like... She's in her 20s or 30s or something, but she looks so aged because of the stress of the Dust Bowl during this time. Right? Madonna on the Rock sounds like a freaking awesome cocktail. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Yeah, I think that's the name of the work. I think it's Madonna on the Rocks. And I remember it was like a controversial painting because of Mama Mary's hand. I'm gonna show you what I mean. We're kind of like going on a bit of a tangent, but I kind of like talking about this. Oh, you know what? I don't know if it's Madonna on the Rocks, but this is the controversial one. And I will show you why. Or a really bad album. So I guess the work that I was referencing isn't this is the one that was known for being controversial apparently because of this. Look at Mama Mary's hand. I actually don't know if this is no, it's this person's hand. I don't remember who this is supposed to be. I've heard it's an angel. I heard that it's someone else, but it's because of this gesture is apparently threatening. Because it's almost like saying, like, cut off their head, you know? And it's almost like there's an invisible person that is being held down by Mama Mary. And then this figure, like, their finger is, like, pointed as if to say, like, cut off their head. But there's no one there. That's kind of, like, the mystery of it. And then in a later version of the same painting, you don't see that hand anymore. It's, like, just down here. So it's a bit of a mystery. There's probably like a new article since I like studied that, but yeah, it's just something that I remember. Okay, I need to get rid of some of these tabs or else I'm gonna start stressing out. Okay, we were on this one. Yeah, oh, this one too. I've seen this one in my history books. This is also by Dorothea Lange. It's one of those like we live in a society type things of like of like, she is pledging allegiance to the flag, but I think she's also Japanese. And if you look at the dates, it was not a great time to be Japanese in America. She was just pointing to the nearest outhouse. She's like, it's that way. Ooh, this is where we get into like the photography that's a little bit more abstract, a little bit more out of the box. This is one of my favorites, Alexander Rodchenko. Because he just took a picture of a tower, but like the angle that he took the picture at is just so like, you know, you associate towers with being tall and vertical, right? But he took this picture in a way to make it almost like a cone shape. And it's almost kind of like rethinking this idea of a tower, but still kind of keeping that idea of it being super tall. What else? What else? This one's also kind of strange because like, you know, if you unfocus your eyes a little bit, it's like, what's going on here, you know? But it's just an odd shot of like this guy playing the trumpet or some kind of brass instrument, right? And this one too. This one is a really cool like playing around with like light shadow type thing because there's this I don't know if the word is like latticing, right? I don't know what Leica is referring to. Maybe it's this like latticing over here. But as you can see, like you see the figure, but like the shape is kind of interrupted by all of this all of the latticing, all of the little designs, little textures. And another kind of weird one. It's a mirror pick. Might you say that this is one of the first mirror picks? Before the advent of MySpace, perhaps. And this one, I'm actually not sure like what is going on over here. Like, is this a photograph? Is this a print? I actually forgot. This might be worth some research. And this one, which looks like it's like a mass grave, right, is actually a bird's eye view of children in a holiday camp. It's a holiday. And then he's not horny, he's hindgorny. This is a cool one too. Because it's very repetitive, right? It's almost like this looks like it could be like an iPhone default wallpaper. It feels a little corporate, but also kind of artsy. It's a little bit of both. So like, you know, I'm surprised. I'm surprised it hasn't been used as like an iPad default wallpaper. Okay, and these are more artworks. These ones are cool too, but I don't have too much to say about them. We'll just scroll. This one has really cool like contrast though. What we were talking about, like this is kind of like this is the dark like background, and then the whites of the pillow. Oh, and it says death, so this is actually a corpse. Oh no. Yeah, very cool like values over here. And this one, little schnick. And this is, I don't know, this one's kind of underrated to me. Like it's also kind of like, I don't know, just the lines are kind of satisfying in this one. I think everyone in these photos died a long time ago. So spooky. So scary. I know, even this guy? Oh no. Citizens from the 20th century. The big city. Oh yeah, and this is where we get into stuff like, it'd be spookier if they didn't. You are right. You are right. Even the snake. No! Poor guy. Adolf the Superman swallows gold and spouts junk. Meaning of the Hitler salute. Little man asks for big gifts. Millions stand behind me. So yeah, we also get some like, some propaganda, but more so against like Hitler. Oh no! Tiddy! Yeah, see? You're gonna put the money in the bag, see? No one gets hurt. Oh yeah, so then we also see photographers kind of playing around with how they develop their photos. So Man Ray is kind of known for kind of doing some weird stuff with photography too. He's another one of my favorites. But I haven't done extensive research on him as much as I've done with like other artists. But his stuff is just cool. So this is kind of like a double exposure. It's almost like when you have a stamp and you stamp it twice, right? You stamp it twice and you get kind of like this double image. And it's like, ooh, what's going on here, right? You could clearly see a form, but what's going on? Oh, and this is the one we saw earlier. This is the Battle of the Amazons. And then, you know, what's all this then? What's going on here? And then some landscapes. To be honest, like, this kind of stuff doesn't interest me as much, but I feel like I'm probably one good video essay away from, like, appreciating it more, if I'm being honest. And then this is the last one, this is the last one. So we get more into, like, the modern stuff. So, like, 60s onward, we start to see some color photography, but it still has, like, some good contrast. Because, like, the whole point of me showing this is, like, contrast, right? So, like, contrast in light, shadow, that kind of stuff. You can still see, like, these two figures are very well illuminated. You see, like, shadows in the back. And, like, having a good, peanuts! Having a good grasp of that, like, helps lead the eye of the viewer. Right? Oh, this is an interesting one. This is Barbara Kruger. She is also kind of like, a graphic designer, in a way, before really the advent of stuff like Photoshop. So, here you can kind of see, like, the analog way that she does it. She would, like, cut out words and kind of overlay them on these photos and kind of turn it into a print. And I just like this one. Hey! Mr. Rage! It's Mr. Rage! Respectfully. Hello, hello. Yeah, we're actually at the tail end. We're actually gonna end soon, but you're just in time to see the 99-cent store. You're just in time to see a relic of an old age. Oh no, ad break! Damn it. Darn it. Alright, let's play. Let's play some sports. Let's do basketball. You guys want to do basketball? There we go. If you are not in the ad break, go ahead and join however you'd like. You can put join red or join blue or just join. Oh, I think you need to, there can't be a dash. It has to be like join space blue. Yeah, like that. No, you need to have a space after join. There you go. You did it, Mr. Rage. You did it. Okay, no one else join in? We got 10 more seconds. Instructions not clear, I tore my ACL. Oh no. If it's just Cielo versus Mr. Rage, I'll tell you guys how to do it, how to play. I think Cielo knows by now, but auto balance occurred. There you go. There you go, you guys got put up against each other. So Mr. Rage, you have to put in 2 numbers. One of them is the angle. And what you're trying to do is, do you see where it says 0, 90, 180? Your little icon, your little avatar is gonna get sent to that spot. And then you have to make it into the basket. There you go. There you go. You're trying to make it into the basket, which is like the 2 squares and the arrows. There you go. Cielo got hers. Now you got this, Mr. Rage. You got this. You got one for the first time. Good job. Good job. There you go. Mr. Rage is trying it out. Okay, while you guys do that, I'm gonna eat some watermelon. Okay, OBS tells me that we're back from the break. I hate this type. Oh, because it's directly upwards. Yeah, that one's kind of rough. Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh. But Mr. Rage going for the 180 is kind of funny. Alright, good job, Cielo, and better luck next time, Mr. Rage. You'll get it next time. Don't tear your ACL. But yeah. Alright, I think everyone's back from the break, right? Don't worry, if you were in ad jail, we were just playing basketball. So we can... My fourth torn ACL, I went flying. Oh no! I know, you you going 180 was pretty funny. I was like, why? Alright, we are gonna end it soon. So yeah, I just wanted to show these cool photos. Like, you know, what's going on here, right? Times Square? Where in Times... Well, as if I know. Like, as if I know, like, what this is from Times Square, right? Back from the war. Oh no! You guys got the PTSD. Oh no. But yeah, this was just an excuse to look at my old slides from history of photography class. Otherwise, here's a... Oh, you might hear my cat in the background. Let's do a quick review. So we learned about light and value. We use Orbi as an example, right? I learned about like highlights, shadows. We looked at different types of shading. So we got the super dramatic, you know, dark versus light, chiaroscuro versus the kind of softer sfumato, right? Where it's a little bit of a softer shading. And then some modern examples too with cell shading, airbrush shading, that kind of stuff. Shell shooketh! Oh no! Oh no! And then we look at like how shading can be done in different mediums. So this is woodcut with like the hatching. And how like Disney movies did not have shadings at first, or shading or highlights at first. But we've gotten to the point where now you can have like stuff like texture and color and animation. So there's that. The value of value. What's the sfumato with you? Hey, what's the sfumato with you? Gabagool. Zako, thank you for the raid. Thank you. Thank you. We're actually about to end soon, but you are just in time for the mosh pit. We're just doing a little bit of review. Hello, Fuza Keruna. Hello. We raiding. Hello. Thank you for the raid, Zako. Why aren't these kids in the factory? Give us the gabagool. You got it. Zako VT. There you go. I'm giving you the shout out. We are about to end soon. Once we finish our little review. The worms! The children yearn for the mind. Oh no. And then we reviewed the photographs. So that's all. So think about shadows, highlights, and types of rendering that you can see in different kinds of art. And if you are a artist or a budding artist, oh, thank you for the follow, Fuzakeruna. Hello, thank you. Yeah, if you want to incorporate any of this in your art, feel free. But also, this is more so to ways that we can look at art, right? So, alright, so for those who are new, we have a certain way of ending our sessions. Because I'm going to end it, we're going to raid into someone. But we have a tradition, it's our end of class mosh pit. so I'm going to actually put this browser away. And then let's bring out the projector, there we go. So we're gonna pick a song to mosh to, and by moshing, just pick an emote and spam it. That's pretty much it. We also have like a chat command for mosh pitting, but it's RNG. Like there's no way to determine whose little guy is gonna win. But let's see. Since we're going to Evo, I've been wanting to play. Open up the pit. I've been wanting to play more of the Guilty Gear Strive OST. So we did Walk in the Park a couple days ago. I think we did Milia after that. Should we do a Smell of the Game? That's like a classic, right? I Will Not Survive, I Need EP Today has been eventful. Yeah, get some rest. You saw Bloodywood? We could do Bloodywood. You guys want to do Bloodywood? There we go. Done. It was a pleasure. Yeah. Alright, guys. Once you hear the music, oh, wait. The Utada Hikaru is still on. You can mosh to Utada Hikaru, right? Okay. Start your moshing. Actually, it might be a little loud. There we go. Mosh pit. Nice, Bite Heights got the mosh pit. Let's do it again, though. Let's do it again. Yo, Mr. Rage got it this time. We have enough time for round 3. One more time. One more time. Good job, Mr. Rage. Yo, Zaka won! Nice! Nice, we got 3 different winners. Good job! Woo! We got 3 different winners for the mosh pit, but all of you moshed your little hearts out. So good job. Just caught my parents breaking and entering. What? Well, good luck with that. Robbing me blind of my trash. Oh no, not the trash. Not the trash. Our Moshi hearts. Yeah, good job, you guys. You guys get an A++++ for that excellent mosh pit. So we're gonna send you over to Ketchup the Bear. They're another bear VTuber because they're playing Digimon right now. They're playing Cyber Sleuth, which is also one of my favorite Digimon games. So we're gonna send you there. Tomorrow, it's gonna be a short stream because that's the last stream before I go on vacation. It might just be a chatting. We might play a game. I haven't decided yet, but we gotta keep it short because I haven't packed yet. So yeah, BTuber, BearTuber. But I'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, 6:30 PT, for a little bit of a chat, and then you guys will be without me for a while. So we have our substitute teacher right at my next to my desk there. You guys see the bear with the glasses and the hat? That's Mr. Pancakes. That's gonna be your substitute. So treat him well, okay? Don't set him on fire again. So yeah, all right. In that case, let's go ahead and raid Ketchup the Bear, and enjoy some Digimon. He's the homie. He is the homie. Exactly. Mr. Pancakes, he's the homie. No promises. What the? Okay, let's go ahead and raid. Have a good morning, afternoon, or evening, and as always, I'll see you guys when I see you guys. Thanks again for dropping by. I always love when you guys are in for our educational streams. Alright, let's raid. Bye-bye!